Cut it.
Hello and welcome to the NZ Ahead podcast. I'm Liz.
And I'm Brian.
And we're back this week with some fabulous information about moving to and living in New Zealand. In particular, this week, we want to share with you why people leave New Zealand.
Yeah, and it's not just immigrants that we're talking about, come to New Zealand and then leave again. This is about just people generally leaving New Zealand, and this is why we need immigrants in New Zealand.
Yes, because we've read this stat, or, you know, whenever you go on YouTube or any TikTok or wherever you're going, you always see these, because we're from New Zealand, you know, the algorithm sends you everything to do with New Zealand. And just lately, I've been seeing so much stuff about mass immigration from New Zealand. Loads of people are leaving New Zealand. And we just thought it would be a really interesting topic to address, because if you're thinking of moving to a country and all of a sudden, all over the media, you start seeing people are leaving New Zealand, you're going to think, oh no, should I go? Aren't you?
Is it a good place to go? Yeah, plenty of houses now.
Exactly. More space.
More space for me.
Yeah.
No. So I think it's important to have a little listen to this one, because it does involve immigrants as well. We do talk about why immigrants some of them do come and do leave as well.
Yeah, there's one main reason. We won't give it away because that will make you listen to the show. There is one main reason that new arrivals to New Zealand just don't make it, and they end up going home within 2 years. So listen to the podcast and you'll hear all about that. Don't forget, if you want to see the video version of this has been published on our YouTube channel on It's a Drama. So you can go over there and see me and Brian sitting in the back garden talking about it. But if you'd like to just stay where you are, then just snuggle down, put your headphones on. I expect you're in the car or maybe at the gym, or maybe you're doing your housework, having a walk maybe. But wherever you are, we are absolutely thrilled that you're here listening to this podcast.
Yeah, and don't forget, if you are thinking about moving to New Zealand and you're after immigration advisors, we use New Zealand Shores. You can contact them at charlotte@nzshores.com. Send her an email and they will do you a free consultation.
Yes, and also don't forget that Charlotte from NZ Shores is in our private NZ Ahead community. If you don't know about this, we have a private community made up of lovely, I was going to say like-minded, but I've changed the wording on like-minded, because like-minded makes me think of someone who they all think of the same thing.
Yeah.
I think it's like-hearted.
Do you know what I looked at it is they are all individuals with a goal in mind to move to New Zealand, or already living here in New Zealand.
But open-minded as well.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. You're going to be surrounded by people who are dreaming the same dream as you, which is moving to the other side of the world and having a massive adventure, changing your life.
Yeah.
So, Charlotte is part of our NZ Ahead community. This is a private community made up of people who are doing exactly the same as you, like I say, making the dream of moving to New Zealand happen. We have got professionals in there, me and Bri. Number one,
well, obviously.
me and Bri.
Yeah, I'm in there.
We wear a tie and everything.
Yes, and a hat.
Yes. And we've got people like immigration advisors, Charlotte, that we just said. We've got people helping to ship your pets, advise you on money issues, bringing your currency over. Who else have we got over there, Bri?
Just everybody else that's in there, which is hundreds of people doing the same sort of thing and sharing their stories about how they got here and what they do now they are here, and the people who are trying to get here. So it's just a wonderful place to be. It's so important to have that support of other people doing the same thing. And it makes the transition from one country to the other so much smoother.
You know what I love about the community? I promise we're going to get into the podcast in a minute, but we have just been sitting answering questions on the community on our Slack group. And what I love is the people that have been on the journey and they've made it to New Zealand are now here on the other side, acting as leaders, like giving.
This is how I did it.
Yeah, this is how I did it. I've just read Carly and Dave's post about they didn't use a shipping company. They brought all their possessions over in suitcases and brought it on the plane with them.
Yep.
And she's just written a lovely, lovely essay about how it all worked out, what she did, how she got it all on the plane, what she brought and what she didn't bring. And it's just things like that. I mean, we say we have got the professionals over there, but to be honest, it's the people that are doing it and that have done it that you want to be talking to, because like you just said, Bri, they're the ones that pay it back and pass it on.
And that's the thing, when you bring everything in a suitcase, you then have to hire an articulated truck to bring it back to your house.
Yeah.
So I don't know how many suitcases they brought.
I know, a lot.
Yeah.
To find out about our private NZ Ahead community, we ask that you take a free, absolutely free, 5-day video guide. This is 5 days of videos that Brian and I have put together sharing some aspect of life in New Zealand. They are short, they are beautiful, they are real, and they will show you a part of New Zealand that you will not see on the internet anywhere else. They're very personal. So to get those free 5-day videos, please go to
www.nzahead.com/free. That's www.nzahead.com/free. And you can get those super 5 days of relaxing videos.
Yeah, people always say that. They say they're so calming.
A nice little bit of music in them, haven't they?
Yeah, and then on day 5, you'll be given details of how to join our brilliant, fabulous, gorgeous community. So sit back and enjoy this podcast all about why people leave New Zealand.
Got it.
Welcome to the NZ Ahead podcast. Everything you need to know about moving to and living in New Zealand.
There's a whole world here.
So nice to be with you again.
We call it Aotearoa around here, bro.
You'll be right.
We are your hosts, Liz and Brian.
Amazing New Zealand in the southern seas.
See, that's where I belong. That's home.
Hello and welcome back to the podcast. I'm Liz.
And I'm Brian.
And we're back this week to talk about why people are leaving New Zealand. In November 2024, it was reported that 127,800 people left New Zealand to go elsewhere in the world, which was a significant increase of 28% compared to the previous year. This is the highest in any 12-month period that many people have left New Zealand.
Yep.
Got this information from Stats NZ report, by the way.
Yeah, and
So thank you for
and
that.
there's a lot of people think, oh, we don't need more people in the country. Well, there you go, 130,000 people have left the country
Yeah.
in 1 year. That's a lot, isn't it?
So as a couple who moved here 16 years ago, we wanted to give our perspective on why we think people are leaving New Zealand. Also, we have lots and lots of people coming through our NZ Ahead private community. They move to New Zealand, some of them stay, some of them leave. And it's been really, really interesting just to pick bits out from and talking to locals about why they think people are leaving New Zealand. And we're here to share that with you today.
Yeah. So should we jump in?
We will jump in. Go on, Bri. What do you think is one of the reasons people are leaving New Zealand?
One of the main reasons is perception versus reality. Okay?
Okay.
Right. So
I'm ready, Bri.
disillusionment. There's the word I was looking for. Immigrants might find that the reality of life in New Zealand doesn't match their expectations, leading to dissatisfaction with their new life.
Which, before I know you've got something to say about this, but what is it? Disillusionment. And I can totally understand that.
Yeah.
And this is why we try and do what we do on this channel.
Yep.
Because there's nothing worse than when people tell you, like, this is paradise, come here, it's absolutely perfect. And you come, you move to a new country.
Yep.
That we're talking about people who have moved here and then left. And the reality is like, well, this is not what I expected, It's not the land of milk and honey. It's not perfect.
Yeah.
And so they leave and go back home. So, yeah, I understand that.
Yeah, and that's so true that people don't think it's going to be the best thing since sliced bread. So,
I mean, it is, but,
Yeah, but the disillusionment side of things of if you've got to move to a different country. If you haven't got it right in your own country, what are you moving to the new country for? Do you think it will make it better? And that's
We've
a
talked
big
about this
thing,
before,
isn't it?
yeah.
And I think that's a big thing that when people come here, they don't realize how hard it is to uproot, travel to the other side of the world. And not only that, you're at the bottom or the top of the world, whichever way you want to look at it, and move to this small country down under.
Yeah.
And that's the problem that people face, is they don't realize how hard that's going to be. And if your relationship, whoever it's with, or even if you're on your own, but mainly for people tend to come over as a family or as couples, and the stress on the relationship can be huge.
Yeah.
And so you've got to be strong before you come and not think when you get here it's going to be all fixed and everything will be perfect, because it's paradise. And yes, there are parts of New Zealand that are paradise, but it's just like anywhere else. It's hard, at times.
Yeah,
It really is.
Do you know what? I remember someone saying to me, you can't build a life off the scenery. Someone who didn't want us to move to New Zealand, they were like, well, why? You can't build a life off the scenery. So it's going back to that same sort of thing. You tend to think, you're going to come here. When you go on holiday somewhere and you're like, oh, I love it here. I'm going to move here. I absolutely love it. And then the reality, when you realise, we did it in France once, and we got there and it was like, oh, you've got to do this, you've got to do that, you've got to ask the local mayor if you can paint your door pink. It was just like, the reality wasn't the same as when you go on holiday. And I think that's what, we're saying here is just be aware that when you get here, it's not perfect. There are things that it's not like being on holiday.
Yeah, it's one of the main reasons why migrants who do come here will leave. And it's not 130,000 or 127,800 migrants that have left. It's generally people in New Zealand that have left.
Yes.
When we say on that point of people leaving, a lot of New Zealanders, not migrants, but New Zealanders tend to hop over the ditch and go to Australia.
Yes.
Because they tend to think, I'll get more for my money over there. I'll get a better job. I'll be able to make more money. But and it's kind of a funny one, because on average, living expenses in Australia can be approximately 20 to 30% higher than what they are in New Zealand.
But the wages are higher.
I know, but it's got to be 20, 30% higher, hasn't it?
Yeah.
But it's like anywhere, the bigger the population, the bigger the opportunities and the more jobs.
That's the country that that the majority of Kiwis leaving New Zealand are going to is Australia.
Because, and that's the one thing, if you've got New Zealand citizenship or residency, you can go and live in Australia.
Yes, you can. I know, it's so good that. It's so good. But don't leave New Zealand and go to Australia. Do you know, we've got so many people, so many Kiwis who listen to us from Australia. So a big shout out to you guys. And you do tell us that the reason you left is because the cost of living is too high in New Zealand compared to the wages.
Yeah.
But when we've been digging in and doing a bit more research about that, it doesn't quite add up. No. It's, yes, the wages are higher. I'm talking about cities like Melbourne and Sydney, and Perth, when we did the research for that. And it said, yes, you can get higher wages, but it costs more to eat out. And standard living costs are higher in Australia. So,
which you wouldn't think so. You tend to
we're
think
not
it would
quite
be,
sure how that works out, why you would do that. How, you let us know. You let us know in the comments if that's true or not, or, if that's just speculation. But that's what we're finding when we look into doing the research.
And no doubt someone will tell me who said this, but there's quite a famous saying about people that the IQ of the country goes up when people leave New Zealand for Australia. Who said it? Someone will tell me.
Right, the next reason people leave New Zealand, and again, I think I'm talking about, actually, no, I'm not. I was going to say I'm talking about migrants that come here, but no, because this actually applies to Kiwis too, is isolation. So when I'm speaking about people who move into New Zealand, when you migrate to New Zealand, the fact that you've left all your family behind usually is a biggie, It
is.
It really is. It takes a certain sort of person to be able to uproot, leave their family and come over here and start again. So a lot of people, it just gets too much for them. They just miss home, they miss their family, they miss those connections, and they go. On a Kiwi point of view, lots of Kiwis have kids that go overseas. They go on their OE. They meet someone from Europe or the UK or America, wherever they've gone, and they get married and they have families of their own and they set up life over there, which brings Kiwis to being torn of thinking, well, do I stay here on my own or do I go over to there and join them? So it's a double thing, two things, different sides, but the same thing. They don't want to be isolated. They want to go back to their family. Next one.
It's basically limited job opportunities here in New Zealand. So if you've got a good set of skills and you're a highly skilled migrant coming over to New Zealand, you might just find it a little bit hard to get employment sometimes. You really, really might.
Yeah, there's no jobs, then there isn't a job, is there?
Yeah, and you might come here, and we've got a few people in our community that have come over here, started a job. Within 3 months, the job has ended because either just the way the economic climate is at the moment, and so now they're in New Zealand now looking for a new job. And again, the whole country can sometimes feel a bit like this, where it's, there's not the job opportunities that you do have in the bigger countries, so you just got to be aware of that. And if you're reliant on getting your residency through that job, you must get employment in that field again. So you've just got to be aware of that, And
I can totally see how, when you're living here, like talking from as a Kiwi's point of view, if you're living here and you can't get work, why wouldn't you? You're going to go and try and find work somewhere else, aren't you?
Yes.
Like if you've given it a good go. And that's what I was going to say as well. We've just interviewed a gorgeous couple from America, Will and Ira, and he lost his job, but they're determined to he's retraining now. He's gone back to school. He's retraining to be a teacher because he knows New Zealand needs teachers, and he's willing to do that and go down that route. But if you're not, and you just think, well, I can't get a job, then yes, I can see why you would think.
Or you haven't got the money to keep yourself here in New Zealand for that time while you're retraining. That's it's not easy. So you've just got to be aware of making sure that you have a backup plan just in case you come over, because the last thing you want to do is have to pack up and go back home. What
was it you were saying to me though about the other day when I was asking you? I said, oh, why why did you have to remember we were talking about retraining, and you said because the standard, they're not good enough basically, and they have to keep training them to be good enough. What was that you were saying about?
But that's the thing is, like, if you come into New Zealand and you've got a job and it's different than what it was back at home, because just the way they do things, or there might be certain legislation or regulations, then get your ass into gear and retrain, and move with it, and don't just sit there thinking, well, I don't know how to do that. Well, then you've got figure it out and work it out. Like when I came here as a plumber gas fitter, I don't know their regulations. They're not the same as what they are in Europe. So I had to retrain. I had to take 4, 5 3-hour closed book exams on their regulations.
I know. You didn't just think, oh, well, sod this, I'm going home, it's too hard.
There was an awful lot of training just to be a plumber and gas fitter, hey?
Yeah.
So...
it's an important job, Brian.
Yeah. But
I reckon you're underpaid.
But it's like anything, if you're a mechanic or whatever it is, retrain, do this, do that. Or electricians, you've got to know the new stuff, and don't just come here and think, well, I don't know that. Go ahead and do it. The amount of guys I used to work with that were skilled migrants, I'd say, why don't you go and take your license exam? Can't be bothered. I'd rather just stay on this low wage.
Okay, the next one, and this is a natural one. I mean, you tend to think when you hear this stats, and it's all very like, what's the word when it's over dramatized? It's oh my God, all these people are leaving New Zealand.
Yes.
Sometimes it just comes down to people want to change.
Yep.
They've changed in their circumstances, and they want to change. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
We've got two kids now. They're 23 and 21. And my daughter's talking about wanting to go to Europe. But this is what happens.
Yeah, but
I want to go to Europe. I want to go and work in England. Well, do you know what? You might just think, I'm going to go and join her. I want to go and my circumstances have changed, and you want to go and join them.
Yeah, but again, that's one of the main reasons why a lot of Kiwis leave is their grandparents were either British or something like that, hey, guess what? I can go to the UK and live there for as long as I want, sort of thing, or when you're young, you can get work visas and things like that, can't you?
Yeah.
So it's opening your eyes, and a lot of people go there, and a lot of people do come back as well.
Yeah.
And bring these great ideas because they've seen them in different places and implement them, like open up a special cafe or something like that. And you just see them and they do really well, don't they?
Before we jump into the next one, we want to have a word from our sponsors, who are me and Brian, yours truly. We're going to talk to you about life in New Zealand, about some beautiful little video we've just made. So let's jump on in and listen to that. You are here because you love New Zealand, just like me and Brian. And me and Brian made it our reality of moving over here. We arrived in New Zealand in 2009 with 2 small children, and I tell you what, hardly any information to our name. We came over here with no resources, no contacts, we knew nothing. One night while we were sitting around the fire when we got to New Zealand, we said, wouldn't it be great if we made something for other people in the same situation as us that gave them everything they needed to know about moving to New Zealand? And that's just what we did. We started a community of people, of like-minded adventurers from all over the world who are making their dream of moving to New Zealand a reality. This community is made up of 400 beautiful souls, each one bringing their own story, their own needs, their own information to our community. And I just love it. I tell you, it's just the best community in the whole wide world. If you would like to be part of that community or get to know more about it, then you can take our free 5-day video guide that we offer. This is a video guide that Brian and I created, showing you some aspect of life in New Zealand every single day. There is nothing like this on the internet. You won't find it anywhere else. It's brilliant and it's unique and it's free. So sign up to those 5-day video guides, and on day 5, I'll give you more information about how you can join our beautiful New Zealand community. Sign up now by going to www.nzahead.com/free. That's www.nzahead.com/free. Get to day 5, see all about our community, and I hope to see you on the other side. Okay, let's get back to the show. The next reason people leave New Zealand, and I'm talking more for those immigrants that have come over to start a new life here, is they just can't get on with the culture. They just cannot fit in to the Kiwi culture. It's as simple as that.
Yeah. You tend to think, what is the Kiwi culture?
Well, Kiwi culture is very different from like the likes of America.
Yep.
I can only speak for British, but even British culture, you tend to come over here and think, oh, because they speak English, because, you know, people from England have come over here or the UK have come over here, it's going to be the same. And it's so not.
I know.
And I mean, what would you say the Kiwi culture is? What would you say?
It's a tough one. You know, we were down the cafe the other day asking an older Kiwi guy about what is the Kiwi culture, and he kind of like looks at you and go, well, it's just embracing each other. It's as in
community,
community,
he said, yeah.
And they don't want to lose that sense of old-fashioned style of community, you know, where everyone is looking out for each other and everyone's got each other's back, and it's very friendly. And it can be quite closed in at times, can't it? Like you feel like you're not going to get in.
Yeah, you can't get in.
But you just got to be yourself and not try and be them.
Yeah.
And then, you know, it's...
Also, I think it's important to say you get a bit of ribbing as well when you first get
Of course
here.
you do.
You know, you get a bit of, especially being English, like, oh, you know, and we've talked about this before, I'm not going to go on about it too much, but it's just like, oh, you know, you Poms don't know what you're doing. And I mean, you know, I remember when you said about when you first came here and was working as a plumber.
Yeah.
And some guy sorry, the papers are blown all over, but some guy on the building site, you know, said to you something derogatory. And I just want to be clear that it's what happens.
Yep.
It happens anywhere, I expect. When you're the newbie, you can be given rib, you know, like get ribbed at.
You've just got, depending on what type of job you're in, and you know, even the office environment, I would imagine it happens. It happens more on building sites because it's just people just love winding each other up.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just to see how far we can go, and they're not being nasty. It's just, hey, you're just a new face, and you've got to have a little bit of a thick skin and just think, oh, do you know what? Big deal.
Yeah.
Get on with
yeah.
it. Yeah.
So yeah,
Keep moving.
That's why people, you know, some people can't make it over here because it's not what they thought. It's not Little England. It's not, you know, it's not the next America. It's New Zealand.
Yeah.
And some people just can't slot in. So we try our hardest. We try our hardest here on this channel to prepare you and give you a real life look at it all. But sometimes it's just not for you.
I know. And when you hear some of the stories of people in our community, you know, they had trouble with their children in their own country, and thinking those problems are still going to exist here in New Zealand. And it's amazing when you hear some of these stories about the kids go to school And because of the different environment and the way it is, the kids start to flourish.
Yeah.
And so people start to accept the differences between the country, but see the positives in them as well, like, you know, and it's not just all about the negatives. We're giving you some negatives here, but there are so many positives about coming here. They do tend to outweigh eventually the negatives.
I know, I was going to say that about the money thing. I mean, I understand the money thing, you know, like, oh, you get more money over there. But it's just, I just always think about the quality of life, you know. I mean, so many times I've heard people say to us, oh, you know, a plumber, we went back to England the other month and someone said, plumber and gas fitter, you could be earning like 200 quid a day, like, you know, doing what you're doing. Well, that's $400. If we were, you know, it's a lot of money.
Normally made that in the morning, really, here.
But do you want to we don't want to live in the UK, so it's like,
I know,
no.
we moved, didn't we? Why did we move?
Exactly.
You know, it's just for something different, and, you know,
it's about priorities, I suppose.
Yeah, and it was just about bringing our kids up with different values.
Yes,
you know,
it was.
Instead of the new values in the UK, which at the time we just think, nah, I'd rather see those older fashioned values, and that's what you do see here. And that is that Kiwi culture. Like,
yes,
you know?
and we're trying so hard to keep that going. You know, it's just that community and that's togetherness and that embracing and just that togetherness.
Yeah.
I think that's what I want. That's what I want to say about New Zealand. It's just I don't like this feeling of all for just one for themselves. Like, you know, like, just get it for me. Like, I'll get what I get. It's just about everyone and everything, and just trying to embrace everyone and everything, and just. Oh, I know that sounds a little bit airy-fairy, but that's just how I feel.
I just think
that's
just
it's not a cutthroat culture. It's not a how much money can you make and what you drive in, and just. I don't think it is anyway.
Yeah, you can't really put your finger on
you
it.
Can't.
I think
it's about the people and just about the nature and just about life.
Yeah, and it's not all about the money. You know, we talk to people again in our community who turn around and go, "Oh, it's a breath of fresh air." When I come to New Zealand, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like I don't feel like I have to go out and buy things on a Saturday morning to make me feel better, you know, and keep going to the shopping mall and keep going out, you know, that going out to retail places and stuff like that. It's just the consumerism in New Zealand is not the same as what it is in the USA or in the UK or Europe or wherever, because that's all we used to do some weekends was just go shopping.
Yeah.
Just shopping, spending all your money. And you just think, you come here and it's just like, well, I'd rather go climb the mountain.
We haven't got any now.
We don't have any money here.
Because Brian
won't
go back to England and do his plumbing and earn loads of money. So he can't afford to buy anything. Okay, on that note, we're going to let you go. And just remember as well, I will say this because I'm sure there will be comments, especially if you're watching this on YouTube. We haven't touched on anything political.
No.
We're going to leave that to the other channels who know far more what they're talking about than we do when it comes to politics. We're giving you our view, the things that we've picked up from our people around us who have been living in New Zealand. This is just us telling you how it is for us. So we hope you enjoy the show. Please do not forget to comment on YouTube, subscribe, share the episode with people who would love this as much as you did. We appreciate all your comments. If you're listening to this as a podcast over on Apple or wherever you listen to your podcast, please leave us a review and share the podcast with your friends. Until next time, do not forget, New Zealand is an incredible, incredible country. Obviously, that is why we live here. I will speak to you soon. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you.
Yep, so kia kaha, stay strong, kia u, stay true, and don't leave New Zealand, just come to it instead. See you later.
Bye. Thank you so much for joining us on the podcast this week. We have loved having you here with us.
If you love this week's show, please share this with your friends. Send it to anybody you know that wants to think about moving to New Zealand, and get on over here yourself.
And tell them how brilliant it is as well. And also, if you haven't signed up for our free 5-day video guide showing you what life is really like in New Zealand, then go over to the website and sign up. You are missing out. This is brilliant. go over to www.nzahead/free and we will send you 5 days worth of videos about what life is like in New Zealand. You are going to love it. So one more time, that website that you need to sign up for the free 5-day guide is www.nzahead/free. So we're going to see you next week. Until then, have a great week and we'll speak to you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Say bye again. Bye.
Bye.